What's going on? It's Peter back with another book review. Today we doing, my God, a lot of times my motivation, my homie, man, somebody that I really adored, I love, man, I really appreciated, I really followed, I really was engaged with, man. I never met him, I never had no encounter with him, but I always felt like he was talking to me with a lot of different things that was going on. And that's my guy Nipsey Hussle with the book, The Marathon Continues. Man, this book was hard to read. It was hard to listen to, especially the ending. It's heartbreaking. My thoughts and my prayers go out to the family. But this was definitely a book that I had to do. Nipsey Hussle, The Marathon Continues. Peter, let's get it. So the name Victory Lap came from his ascension from the mixtape scene, because Victory Lap was his official first album that he released, and he was celebrating the fact that he put in so much work to get to this point, and it was time to take things to the next level. So that was the whole reason behind the name Victory Lap, because he was trying to take things, being with the majors, getting more exposure, getting more bigger deals and shows and things of that nature, which he should have already been on that level, from my opinion. But you know, that's how things turn out, things how things work at times. But that was the reason, the meaning behind the name Victory Lap. Honestly, I love that name because that's the name that I actually ran with prior to his passing. I have a company that I started and I named it Victory Lap prior to him even passing. So, and after that happened, it even has that much more meaning to me. You know what I mean? You feel me? So the book was like educational on a lot of different levels, talking about the city of Los Angeles, talking about gentrification, talking about politics, talking about the information behind the Bloods and the Crips and Crenshaw and all of these different things. There was a lot of educational stuff going on that you definitely should check out once you do read the book, and let me know what you thought. So one of the things that he talked about was him and Tim Gross, I believe his name was, and T.I. was planning to do a mortgage fund to kind of stop regentrification in a lot of these different neighborhoods and help people afford their homes and maintain them. And they were starting this like mutual fund, I believe that's what it was, to start fighting off for that before Nipsey had passed. And once he passed, it kind of fell off. I don't know where it's at currently right now, but that was definitely something that they was fighting to get established, to fight off all of these bigger banks and things of that nature to help more impoverished people, which was always a part of why Nipsey was so great. All right, he talked about how Donald Trump passed his bill to develop these underserved communities. It was a tax bill in which he called these like opportunity zones, was like the hottest thing going at the time. And what it was, if you had capital to get into these investments and develop these gentrification, underserved communities, and as long as you had the capital in order to do it. And one of the main things about it was all of his people were first in line to take advantage of all these different tax bills that he cut. So you would hear about it and everything, like if you got the money, it's good, but like, are you even in line, or even you anywhere near close to the front of the line to get in place to even take advantage of these so-called opportunities for these hot zones, which we all know is just gentrification. That's all it was. But it was definitely something interesting that I didn't know, and I was definitely interested in hearing about it. You know what I mean? He talked about the Rodney King situation and the LA riots and everything, how everything went down. And the only reason why I'm smiling because he talked about how Snoop and Drano was recording the Chronic. And as they was recording it, Snoop was going out looting and coming back to the studio with everything that he had got. And I just couldn't imagine, like, around that time, you and him recording the Chronic and like, yo, I'm about to go out and get some stuff. You want something? You good? I'll be right back. I just thought that was a funny story. One thing that he talked about that hit home for me in this book was how his grandmother had got sick, and they had to go back to East Africa to check on her because they never, had met her before. She never met her grandkids. So she wanted to meet her grandkids. But when he went, he realized how great everybody was treating him, how it was so much peace. It was nice. It was good. Everybody was feeding them everywhere they went. The women took care of them. And this is one of the reasons why he started really getting on this woman empowerment trip, because he saw how much they was riding for him and really took care of him and showed him so much love. And I could attest to that, because when I went to Senegal and I was there, and I really felt loved. I really felt appreciated. Everywhere I went, I was taken care of. Like, I didn't have to worry about a lot. It was way more peaceful, a lot more calm, and I really enjoyed it. And one thing he said in his book was, in these third world countries, they may be poor in resources, but they're rich in character. And it's so true, man. A lot of places that I went when I was there, it was just a different experience, a different feel. Even though mosquitoes tore me up, I had like 1,000 mosquito bites. But yeah, it's definitely a great time when I went, and I can't wait to go back, to be honest. Another thing that he talked about with Nip, he was saying that one of the guys that signed him was saying it was crazy that it took somebody from Brooklyn, a white boy from Brooklyn or New York, 3,000 miles away to sign him, and nobody in his hood signed him. Now, I know Big U was dealing with him with I think it was a manager contract or something like that, but none of the majors had signed him out of LA. Like Dr. Dre had Dr. Dre had heard some of his music and turned him down. And Nip was like, I wonder if it was about the banging or the you know what I mean? Because he was caught up in a lot of shit at the time. Dre was, after the death row and all that. He just wanted a peaceful situation. So he wasn't exactly sure on why Dre didn't sign him. But it's crazy though, like, you know what I mean? It's funny because Dre didn't sign a lot of people that end up getting on. I think it was like Eve, Nip. I think they got that song, the Broccoli song. No, got that song, I'm the Man. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Dre didn't sign him. It's like when people don't get signed by Dre, it's like, oh, you up next. So another crazy part about one of the deals that he signed, a partnership, he had signed a deal because he was on a run. Like he had tried all these things to get on and finally got an opportunity to get on. As soon as he was about to get on with his company, I forgot what label it was, he caught a case where he was being wanted for, he was at a party and he had a gun with him and the people on video caught him with a gun and like dancing with an underage girl, but nothing happened. And he just was dancing or whatever. And the gun he wasn't supposed to have, so they was like looking for him in LA. So he had flew to New York trying to sign a deal. Like, look, if I'm gonna get booked, then they're gonna take me to jail. At least I'm already be signed. I had some bread in order to get bailed out. And that's exactly what happened. They locked him up, but he ended up bailing out. But he ended up beating the case anyway because ain't nothing happened. But it's just funny that the reason why he signed was just because he knew he probably was gonna go to jail and he needed the bread to fight the case, which is crazy. So all this Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick issues going on right now. It's funny to me because in the book they was talking about the 2010 Freshman XL cover, and I think it was Wiz, J. Cole, Big Sean, all of them was on the cover of it. And J. Cole had missed his flight, so he was late coming to the photo shoot. And Kendrick was there, and Kendrick was like, yo, let me get on there, he ain't here. And the lady was like, no, Cole's gonna be here, don't worry about it, he's gonna do it. And he was like, he ain't here, I got it, like I cover it. Kind of like, and boy, I took it like Kendrick already was on that time. Like, yeah, they ain't better than me, ain't nobody fucking with me. And he told the lady, like, look, I'm gonna be on here next year. And she was like, okay, sure, great. And damn sure enough, Kendrick was on there next year. But I just thought it was funny how Kendrick be on that time. Like, yeah, I'm that one, I'm that guy. Like he said, F the big three, it's just big me. Boom. I got a theory, and only my people in LA could really answer this or tell me this because I have no clue. But just listen to this book and what Nip was talking about. I wonder if the gangs in LA was the reason why hip hop on West Coast fell off. Because like they always got dope music. There's so many people on the West Coast that I really bang with, heavy. And he was the way he was talking about how nobody will book shows on the West Coast because they ain't with no gang issues. It just was crazy to me. Like I wonder if a lot of the money slowed up in LA because none of the clubs or nobody was trying to put money behind it because you couldn't book no shows because everybody was afraid of the Bloods and the Crips and everything like that. So I'm wondering if that was one of the reasons why the music scene slowed down in LA. But if you from LA, let me know what you think. Because I definitely don't know. I'm just curious if that's a plausible theory I got. You know what I mean? Another crazy part of this book, he talked about Black Sam getting out of jail. And he had 250 racks buried in the back of his, I think it was grandma's house. And when they got out, they went to go get the bread. And the bread had molded. He said he had wrapped it, put it in a safe, wrapped it in plastic, and put it in a fireproof safe. And all of that didn't matter because the bread was still molded up. And I thought that was crazy, man. Another part of that, my girl said, if you got damaged money, you could take it to the Department of Treasury and they'd trade the money for you. And I'm like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard, but it got some truth to it. You ever get a chance, look into it about the Department of Treasury and damaged money and see if they had traded for you? Because I believe that's what I read, but I could be crazy too. But yeah, Black Sam, he said the money was so damaged they couldn't even pull it apart. And it was like really nothing they could do, man. They tried to dry it with a heater and all that, but the money was just done. Could you imagine getting out of jail planning on having that bread the whole time, and you get out and you can't even use it? Bruh, crazy. Another thing he talked about was Lauren London. and how she was so interested in Nip. And she was with Jackie Long, and Jackie Long was like, yo, go holler at him if you think he cool. And he's like, okay. So she was listening to it, like putting a lot of people on Nip. Even LeBron was listening to Nip, like during the finals before Nip was really big, and that was like a good look for him too. But they said that Deshaun Jackson from the Eagles, you know, I'm an Eagles fan. Deshaun, what up? Hooked Lauren introduced him, and it went from there. He talking about how they was just chilling out, man. They went on a long ride and really got to know each other, and they really was feeling each other. And that was kind of the introduction to Lauren and Nip. You know what I mean? Another crazy part of the book was the FDT song, F Donald Trump song. And they said that there was some lyrics in there that they made them change out. The Secret Service made them change it out. And I don't want to say the lyrics on here because I don't want to get, you know, copyright strike or banned or something. I don't know. If they made them take them down, they probably won't let me say it. So, but when you listen to the book, definitely you'll hear what he was saying. They made him change some words in the song, or they was going to cancel that whole album. And there was a Mexican homie on another remix of it, and he was talking about the MS-13 stuff and a bunch of stuff like that too, and they made him take that out of there as well. So that's crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. And then they even told like Big Boy and them, like, yo, y'all can't even play this song on the radio, and it wasn't getting no radio spins like that. And how crazy that was, like, because it was such a big song and it was everywhere, but the radio couldn't even play it. But it just show you, like, you know what I mean, we're not as free as you always say we are, or they say we are. You feel me? Another thing he talked about in his book was how he got scammed out of a studio. He rented out a studio from his homie, but his homie was subleasing it and ended up losing it. But the crazy part about it is Nip had built this crazy studio, custom everything, put all his money into the floors, into the walls and all that, and they end up getting an eviction notice out of nowhere. And Nip like, yo, what the hell is this, man? Like, this is my shit. And they was like, nah, man, you gotta get out. And took him to court. The judge was like, look, none of that matter. It's not your place. You gotta roll. And he was hurt, man, because he lost all his bread in that place. And he was saying, like, everybody was like, man, let's run up in there. Let's do this. Let's do that. He was like, nah, man, it's going to work out in my favor. And it, you know, it did eventually. But it's just crazy that he invested all that bread into that opportunity and didn't even work out for him. You know what I mean? Another crazy thing I didn't know was Lauren London turned down Snowfall because she got pregnant by Nip. I thought that was crazy. Like, wow, I didn't know. I definitely a Snowfall fan. I love Snowfall. And I wonder what character she was supposed to play in Snowfall. I don't really know. If you know anything about who she was supposed to play in Snowfall, leave it in the comment section. Let me know, because I have no idea. But I definitely think she was dope. Would have been dope in Snowfall. That's one of my favorite shows too, by the way. Snowfall is dope. In conclusion, man, this book was tremendously sad and hard to listen to. When Nick passed, when everything was on social media, I was calling everybody. I was telling people. Prior to that incident, I was even trying to get people on Nip bandwagon because I love Nip music. Nip always spoke a language that I truly and thoroughly understand. And when he passed, man, it was so hurtful, man. I remember when Tupac passed, I was a kid in the car and they said he died. I literally cried. And when Nip died, I was the closest. I didn't cry, but I was the closest I came to it from somebody that I didn't know. And it was just so hurtful, man, to see how he went out and for it to be broadcast the way it was. He really, really, really didn't deserve that, man. Lauren didn't deserve that. His kids, Black Sam, nobody around him, Cowboy, none of them deserve to experience that, because Nick was just such a good dude, such a unique light. And I thoroughly appreciated him, man. And in this book, he just talked about how educated he was and how driven he was and how he had a sense of knowing and how he was so impactful everywhere he went and who he talked to and who he came in contact with. And that's what I strive to be, another version of Nip in different ways, man. But it's just crazy, man, like how influential a person could be to you and then they just be gone the next day. This Nip was definitely one of the most influential people that I've followed, and was really following behind, honestly, to be honest with you. So it's definitely a dope book, man. If you read it, let me know what you think. If you got any favorite Nip songs, put them in the comment section. Whatever Nip song was your favorite, let me know. Let's show some love for Nipsey Hussle, on my LA folks, on my Rolling 60s, even though I'm not one. I've never been affiliated with any gang whatsoever. But still, show some love for your boy, Nipsey. It's Pito. I'm out. What's going on? Yo, this is Pito. If you into books, you into reading, you into learning, hearing things that you never heard, stories that you never heard, and learning to work on your mental health, to develop and becoming a better person, a better man, a better son, a better father, follow me. subscribe. Help me get my subscribers up. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at like 2. But nah, on all seriousness, if you're really into the things that I'm into, follow me. I'm going to be dropping dope content all the time. It's Pito. Check me out. Follow me. Engage with me. Let me know y'all want to read some books, what y'all want to talk about. I'm here. It's Pito. Let's get it.